SRN Survival Radio Network.
Hey, family. Welcome, greetings, and welcome to the Paula G Show, where we expand your mindset through worldwide conversations right here on Survival Radio Network. And much love to V. Ferg for the opening theme song, Slow Earth, just for the Paula G Show. And V. Ferg's music can be found on iTunes, Amazon, and SoundCloud. I'm so glad you all joined me for this episode. I hope you had a good day, you're having a good day, or you will have a good day. Depends on when you're listening. But I appreciate you being here. My live listeners, thank you all. Those of you who are listening live right here Wednesday evening at 8:30 p.m., I appreciate you so very much. My podcast listeners, all of you who are listening from around the United States, and at the time of this particular podcast, some crazy weather is about to hit us, so you all be safe in North Carolina, South Carolina. I think it's going up as far as the D.C. area, and they say it might trickle down here to Georgia. We don't know, but you all be safe out there. My listeners right here in ATL, thank you all. Hope that everybody has had a good day right here in the ATL. My military families, you know I love you all right here in the U.S. of A. and abroad. Thank you all so much for all that you do. My truck drivers up and down the road, man. I mean, y'all are about the business. And I appreciate you listening. Those of you around, you know I got listeners in the UK. I got listeners all over. And I'm so appreciative. I appreciate you all for tuning in, my Positive Power 21 family, my LMB Network family, and, of course, right here, my Survival Radio Network family. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the Paula G Show. I say it each and every week because something happens each and every week that just reinforces the fact that time and life both are precious. Time is the one thing that you cannot get back. In life, you can't get that back either. So for you all to think it not robbery to spend some time with me, I really, really appreciate you all tuning in. And I want to give a shout-out tonight. Mr. Clark Garrison is sitting shotgun with me tonight. I appreciate you so much, Mr. Garrison. Thank you, because I know he just came off the air of his own show. And he's had some amazing things going on with his photography. Y'all need to go out there on social media and check out some of the amazing work that he is doing and that he has done. He's got this series, which yours truly is a part of it. It's entitled Locks. And it features men, women, children with locks, all shapes, sizes, colors, you name it. So you make sure you check out Mr. Clark Garrison. But thank you, Clark, for sitting in this evening. And also, I always have to give a shout-out to my regular engineer, Mr. Mike Barnes. I think he's out on the ball field tonight playing ball or out there with his students. So we want to give him a shout-out as well as my associate producer, Courtney Denise. She keeps me straight with my shows and the booking of my shows and keeps everything flowing. So I really, really appreciate her, and I want to thank her so much for all that she does for the Paula G Show. All right. Well, I've got a lot going on, and, last week was the debut. Last Thursday was the debut of my TV talk show entitled My Journey with Paula G, which airs via Positive Power 21, but we are now here in the Atlanta area on WATC2. That's TOO, WATC2. And you can find my show on Roku, Hulu, Truly TV. Did I say Hulu? Yes, Hulu. Truly TV, WATC2 TOO, also has an app. It's a free app. You can download the app. The show airs tomorrow morning, Thursday. That'd be Thursday morning, or Thursday mornings at 11:30 a.m. in the morning. You can also go to the website, www.watc.tv, and check it out as well. But I'm very, very proud of that show. I'm very appreciative to have the opportunity to be on television. My Journey with Paula G. It's a 30-minute show, and we speak with guests from the Christian and the gospel community, independent artists, and some of the conversations, well, not some of the conversations, but all the conversations are just so encouraging. Sometimes people don't realize that they have a gift. Sometimes they don't realize that they have a talent because it's such a part of the fiber of their being. It's amazing, when you see some artists and you just marvel at their gifts, and you marvel at their talent, and they're just so matter of fact about it because it's such a part of their being. And then there are others who discover the gifts or discover their talents a little bit later on in life, and they share that journey as well. But with that being said, we all coexist, and we all have things that go on in our life and life happenings, and, we have good things that go on, we got bad things that go on, we have triumphs, we have tragedies, we have all of those things while we're living life. And the conversations that we have with these artists are just very inspiring as they talk about sharing their gifts while coexisting with whatever life throws at them. So Thursday morning, 11:30 a.m., Roku, Hulu, Truly TV, Google Play, www.watc.tv, the website, and you can also download the WATC app and view the show on WATC2. So excited about that, and we'll talk more about that next week. Next week as well. Also, I want to give a shout-out to Mr. Glenn Trevelyan. He always sends over some great music here on the Paula G Show, and I truly, truly appreciate him for that as well. And also, if you're looking to expand your business or service, I was just sharing with you about my TV show. I'm now on 3 different platforms. We've got a growing audience. It's like it's like when you drop a pebble into the lake and there's just a ripple effect. Well, that's what these shows are, and that's what these shows do. They're like a ripple effect for the viewing audience, for the listening audience. So if any of you are interested in expanding your business or service, reach out to me at Paula at paulagvoice.com, and we can discuss a sponsor package, advertiser package, whichever one suits your needs. All right, let me see. I think those are all of my announcements, for now. There's been a lot happening here in the ATL, and I'm going to tell you, I saw a post on Facebook about, Atlanta's just so crowded. There's so much traffic here in Atlanta, and there was this post where it showed the highway in Atlanta, and it was jam-packed with traffic, and the caption read, there's no more room in Atlanta. Move somewhere else. Go live somewhere else. There's no more room in Atlanta because there are so many people that are moving here to Atlanta, but, we've got so much going on with the film industry growing, and, you've got a lot of major corporations, right here in the city. And I'm telling you that, this world is changing so much. A lot of these cities, and I'm sure some of you can relate as well, some of the cities that you all live in, and you just see the growth the changes. You know, that whole gentrification is real. You see the changes in the communities just evolving and changing. You know, our world is changing, y'all. Our world is changing, and, you know, we have to keep up. So with that being said, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, I'm so excited to have these two gentlemen on this evening to share their respective journeys. They both are actors, and how they came to the screen, or how they came to the stage. They have two different paths, but just groundbreaking, both of them, just groundbreaking in their journeys and their paths to where they are today and where they are looking to go in the future. They're going to share that with us. So I'm excited to have Mr. Stanley Autry from Marvel Studios' Black Panther. Yeah, we're going to have a conversation. And then also Mr. Luke George Fink. I cannot wait to talk to him as well. His groundbreaking role in the film Flipped. You know, we often hear of profiling and police shootings and harassment and so forth. And, you know, when you hear those things, you automatically get a certain image in your mind. But tonight, that image is going to be flipped. Sit back, relax. When we come back from the flip side of our commercial break, we're going to pay some bills first, and then we're going to listen to a bit of Heston's Dear God. And when we come back on the flip side, we'll be speaking with my first guest this evening. This is the Paula G Show right here on Survival Radio Network. We'll be back in a moment.
If your company needs a voiceover professional, call me at 646-504-1376. I'm Dane Reed. That's 646-504-1376. I'm there for you when you need live announcing for events, company voicemails, commercials, professional voiceovers for important videos, voicemails, and anything else your company might need. Call me at 646-504-1376. Interested in doing voiceovers? I also do consultations.
Looking for a cafe with a home-like appeal where all who enter feel like they are part of something? Visit My Coffee Shop, located in Eastlake, Atlanta, Georgia. MCS has a full breakfast and lunch menu, offering both hot and cold options, and is home of the amazing basil lemonade. But don't forget their assortment of freshly brewed coffees. Come on by at 2462 Memorial Drive, Atlanta, Georgia, 30317. We're pretty sure My Coffee Shop at East Lake will become your coffee shop, too.
You may have heard the phrase, deals are done on the golf course, but do you know how that happens? The book 9 Holes, 9 Goals will provide hole-by-hole guidance on what to do and mistakes to avoid during a round of business golf. Pre-order your copy today at 9holes9goals.com, because closing deals on the golf course is no longer just a phrase. You can do it too.
SRN Survival Radio Network.
Whoa. Child. Why'd you wake me up so early this morning? Seems like the world was fast asleep. Or is it that you knew that my heart was open, and that you wanted me to be still? Seems like we've been playing tug of war. I lose, you win. Yeah, my heart is open. I'm begging you, please come in. in the air. Head of my table. You try, only you are able. There, God, please take the wheel. I'm heading your way. When the rain poured down outside my galvanized window, was that you washing my sins away? And when the rooster crowed oh so early this morning, was that you telling me it's time to pray? I don't claim to be the best believer. I don't claim, no. With that I struggle every day. But one thing I know is I feel you tugging, gently nudging me away. You're a great God, a healer, a friend when I need you, Alpha, Omega, in the air, head of my table. You try, only you are able.
And we are back. This is the Paula G Show right here on Survival Radio Network, and you were just listening to Heston's Dear God. And Heston's music can be found on Amazon, iTunes, and SoundCloud as well. We thank Heston so much. He's been a guest on the show a couple of times, and we love Heston. We love Heston. Also, before I bring my guest on, I have to recognize some of the sponsors, advertisers, underwriters for my journey, first season of my journey with Paula G. First and foremost, my coffee shop, home of the amazing basil lemonade on Memorial Drive here in Atlanta, Dr. Paul and Marcia Kelly, Duke C's African Clothing, Clicks Photography, Positive Power, 21. Also, Donna Gilmore, Dr. Vincent and Sarah Ferguson, Gwen Mason, Kingsley Saki, LaFanya Mayfield, Richard Roden, Robert and Delane Hedden, Sarah Love Powell, Tinkle Foster, Tony Ferguson, Taiwan Thomas, and Waltine Grady. We thank you all so much for your generous support. And also, I forgot my birthday shout-outs earlier. Can't forget my birthday. Happy birthday goes out to Daryl Dickerson, Timothy Simpson, James Bundy, Miss Lachelle Crowder, Tim Williams Jr. He's been a guest on the show as well, Sada Hefner, and Jerome Stinson. So birthday shouts-out to all of you. All right, well, we are ready for my first guest. And he's a graduate of Hampton University. You know, we love our HBCUs. Has a degree in electrical engineering. We're going to talk about that a little bit. He considers himself an actorpreneur. We're going to talk about that as well. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Paula G Show, Mr. Stanley Autry.
Hi, thank you, Paula.
How are you, Stanley?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I am wonderful. And before we go any further, I want to thank you so much. You came out to my journey with Paula G to meet and greet a few weeks ago, and I know you've got a lot on your plate, but you thought it not robbery to drop by, and I really, really appreciate it. So thank you so much for coming out.
No problem.
Supporting my journey. You've been a busy man.
Yes, it seems that way.
And that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So you have a degree in electrical engineering.
This is true.
You have a degree in, electrical engineers are close to my heart because my father was an electrical engineer. I think he got his degree. My mom's going to kill me. I think it was 1941. Got his degree in electrical engineering, but was not recognized as an engineer to many years later due to the racial climate, of the country at that time. So, when I always of an engineer. You know, it's kind of near and dear to my heart. But you've got a lot of business ventures as well, and I love that term, actorpreneur. So tell us a bit about your journey.
Okay. Yes, I was going to tell you with your father. That's an interesting point that you brought out, because Hidden Figures did a good job of actually highlighting how educated engineers were still kind of recognized under a different term back in that time, because of the racial climate at that moment as well. So to get to this point, and for all of us engineers in this modern era, and some of the things that we're able to do now, is definitely a journey in itself. So.
Yes, and I appreciate you sharing that, because, you know, my father, along with other black engineers, males, what I would say were the male version of Hidden Figures. They were the male version of Hidden Figures.
Right.
So, definitely, and that's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother conversation. I might have to bring you back. Black History Month.
I'd be glad to. But yeah, in connection with everything else that you mentioned, after my engineering degree, I went on and got my MBA, and that allowed me to kind of tie in kind of the science of business, along with the engineering, to kind of go along with my engineering career, but also to start up my entrepreneurial spirit, to open up a few businesses of my own. And then, as I always kind of try to make sure that I keep the youth encouraged about, is that we have, you know, two sides of the brain. We have this artistic side, but we also have the science side. And for me, you know, I like to exercise as much as my brain as possible. So that allowed me the opportunity to tap into the artistic side and continue to showcase that, and just use my time management to be able to continue my engineering career, open up my businesses, but also have time to do acting as well. And so far it's panned out well. So that's where the term actorpreneur comes from, because I just feel like we have an opportunity where you don't have to be a starving artist just to, wait for your big break or your big opportunities to get out there and show your artistic ability, but you still have parts of your capabilities, your mindset, even your physical attributes, and where you can, strive successfully economically while you continue to strive for your dreams, if that be in the artistic world, if that be writing, if that be, even in the crafts, anything that you think of, you can still be multifaceted and be able to live your life and get the best out of yourself, Yeah.
And, I think it's fascinating to me because, I have another friend, and, his stage name is Dichotomy. He's a spoken word artist. And he's also an electrical engineer. And I find it fascinating when I see those in the sciences or those in the math field, because usually the strength, I teach GED students. So if a student is strong in math and science, then usually the social studies and the language arts is a bit of a challenge, and vice versa. So I find it fascinating when you have someone that comes to the table that's able to, like you said, utilize both sides of it, because usually it's one or the other.
Right.
So so how, and from my experience, I'm not saying that this is you, Stanley, but from my experience, that math mind is very black and white. Like there's no gray. Whereas the artistic side is, artistic side of folks has some color and it's a little gray. That math and science mind is very black and white. So how do those two worlds coexist in your head?
But the interesting thing is, I think that most of us that tend to take to math early on, it's because we find it to be black and white, and we're like, oh man, math makes so much sense because there's always an answer that's right. And so that usually attracts us to it first, but then if you choose to become an engineer or any study that takes your math to the the infinite level of it,
right.
you start getting into certain science of math that gives you grades in where it can be a few different things, but what is your mode of finding your answer? And one of the things about being an engineer is that engineering and the study of engineering in itself is more of a way to evolve your mind about how to use your resources to kind of get to the answer or get to the result or whatever the resolve is that you're looking for. Using your resources and developing a method or a pattern of doing that. So it's been interesting, like, since coming out of college to run into other engineers that may not be doing work in their engineering field per se, but they're using their engineering mindset to create their opportunities, and usually it's a pretty successful opportunity, but it's like they don't want to, quote-unquote, recreate the wheel, but they'll take some wheels that's already created and then create a better circumstance or a better business for themselves to push and thrive behind. So part of the science of engineering, I think, is that, but like you said, the black and white part of it is usually the appealing side of it. But once you get into the engineering platform of it, it kind of grows.
Wow.
And even for the students that you mentioned that might be leaning more towards the literature or the English part, I always feel like for those kids, like, they have multiple studies, usually in elementary school, that parents ask them to get A's or A's and B's, every quarter. Every time report cards come out, please get A's and B's. And you're learning social studies, you're learning history, English, literature, math, science, gym. Then at the same time, we may ask them to, pick up a extracurricular activity, a sport, or be in a band, or be in chorus, or be in art. And we usually push this, all the way through high school. But then somewhere we get them into college and we ask you to pick a major, which usually puts you, like you said, in that one lane. And we try to kind of drill that individual down to only focus and think about things from one lane. And then hopefully if you get a degree in that, we can, American could pay you for that for maybe the next 30 years for you to do that one thing. But potentially from the age of 5 to 18, we were asking you to know 7 different backgrounds, not even including the extracurricular activities we asked you to excel in. And then we get you to college and we ask you to kind of dumb it down to like one major study. But what happened to all of those, what happened to all of those other skill sets that we asked you to, evolve and succeed and get A's and B's in? So those are the things that I think people can still reach back to and use to find out, if there was other subjects that they enjoyed and if there was anything in those subjects that they still want to pursue or do in their adulthood that, even if they weren't getting paid for it, it still would be self-fulfilling. But usually a lot of it, they can earn income still with those things. And so all of that is under the umbrella of entrepreneurship as well.
Wow. So you just helped a whole lot of people.
I hope so.
You just helped a whole lot of people, and you really went into what my next question was going to be. I think you answered it. Is why is the entrepreneurship mindset so critical in the entertainment community? I think you, unless you wanted to expand on that a little bit more.
Yeah, I can expand on that because I think one of the things, and usually the stories that always get glamorized is the artists that slept in their cars until their break. Here in Atlanta, we get a chance to really know Tyler Perry's story firsthand, how he went through his struggle before he became the Tyler Perry we know now. And that's always a great story, always inspirational. But at the same time, majority of the folks that usually have to go through a homeless struggle, may not necessarily find their footing in the artistic world to be able to pull themselves out of the homeless struggle. And so we don't want to just tell that one story. We would like to also tell the story of people that were already maybe financially independent or financially successful and still was able to get their dreams off the ground or get their artistic dreams off the ground and not necessarily feel like they have to be, acting or homeless or, music or homeless. It's like you can still pursue music, you can still pursue acting, you can still pursue your dream and still at the same time provide a living for yourself. So I think the last couple of weeks when Jeffrey Owens, like whenever that story was circulating and, folks decided, well, he was bagging groceries at, I think it was Whole Foods. And
Trader Joe's, I think.
Yeah, Trader Joe's. I'm sorry, Trader Joe's. And it's one of those things in where people have the perception that because he was an actor on the Cosby Show, that alone should be enough to carry his whole life. But there's always times in between your acting gigs or your music gigs or anything people are into, and where you still need to provide consistent income. And so now that we're in more of a modern age and where there's so many opportunities to earn that income, there's opportunity for you to pick potentially what you would like your consistent paychecks to come from, and then also still have a foot in the lane in one of your dreams, and where it can be a check that can come, once every 5 years, or it can come consistently every year, but you don't have to pretty much feast or famine on that one lane of opportunity. And so therefore that brings the importance of, like you said, that entrepreneurship to be a concept in your mind so that you're not really, stuck in a bad situation that at some point you can't get out of or that you have a harder struggle than you have to have,
So it's a mindset. It really, what I'm hearing is, and I'm so glad that you shared that, and I think you were very, eloquent in how you share. It's really a mindset. It's really a mindset, and I believe Edward Daniels we had on last week was kind of speaking to the same thing about, while you're on your journey of doing what it is that you're passionate about doing, you can open up your mindset and open up yourself to other streams of income, other multiple streams of income as well. So, in addition to that, and while you are on your journey of your different aspects of who you are with your acting and your engineering and so forth, tell us a bit about Black Panther.
Okay. You want me to just tell the general things that we know? It's the greatest movie ever, everyone. It's the greatest. Continue to watch it. It's on Netflix now. Like, please keep watching it until the next one comes. But Black Panther in itself it really was a great experience from beginning to end. The cast from top to bottom was very close throughout the process of making the film, and you just kind of had this sense that you were doing something special. You was working on something that was going to be special, but most of us are still very, very surprised and very honored that it was as special as it became. Some of the conversations that I have are more or less where for our community, it feels like when Coming to America came out, it left a positive residue for the connection of African Americans in America to African, and it created like a culture where people to this day still have certain slogans, certain things they say that came from Coming to America. They had weddings that they used the dance scene from Eddie Murphy's wedding and Coming to America. They added it into their wedding, proms, different things were affected by what they saw in Coming to America. And it's really been all the way up until Black Panther that we had something that seemed to affect the culture in such the same way that this past year, proms, birthdays, everything has a Black Panther theme. I mean, even I'm pretty sure when Halloween comes, we're going to see a lot of Black Panthers doing Halloween.
Yes.
But it's like it's really affected the culture in such a way that none of us on set could totally anticipate. But we're very, very, very much thankful and grateful that the project came out as successful as it did, that Ryan Coogler and the writers, like, they did such a thorough job in keeping the Comic-Con and the whole, like, community of people happy with the storyline and following what the comic said, as well as for just entertainment value. There were people that enjoy the film that normally don't watch quote-unquote superhero movies, MCU movies, but they watched Black Panther and enjoyed it so much that they've been watching it multiple times. So it was really a very family felt time creating the film on set. And it's really something that seems like it'll keep us connected forever because it just has such a strong impact, and it's still having such a strong impact.
Absolutely. That's something that you'll be able to tell your grandchildren. Do you have any upcoming events that you want to share with the audience and your contact information?
Yes. They can catch me in a feature thriller called Leave. That'll be coming out in October. Brandon Grand directed it. I think that'll be going to Amazon, if I'm not mistaken, or even Netflix as well. So that'll be something that'll be streamed. Also, there's a few other projects that should be coming out as well. So they can follow me, just first and last name, Stanley Autry, on Facebook, Instagram, and a lot of the information that we're speaking on now is on those social medias, and they can also go to my website, StanleyAutry.com, and they can also keep up with me there. So, yeah.
All right, and that's AUGHTRY, Stanley Autry.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You're welcome back anytime. You got anything going on, just hit us up, let us know, and we'll get you on. All right.
Thank you so much for having me on.
You are so welcome. We appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Stanley Autry with us this evening. Drop some knowledge on us, too. Drop some knowledge. Okay, we are going to take a break. I think we're going to pay some bills, listen to a little music, and when we come back, we are going to be speaking with my next guest. And when I tell you this is groundbreaking, this is powerful, and he has something to say, it's groundbreaking, it's powerful, and Luke has something to say. This is the Paula G Show right here on Survival Radio Network. We'll be back in a moment.
If you're a content creator, social media socialite, influencer, or simply love to record current events, you need the joystick. The joystick is an essential tool for every type of digital content creator. It holds 2 or more mobile phones or tablets, allowing users to stream and record hands-free on multiple apps simultaneously, and it's lightweight and portable. For more information or to purchase your joystick today, visit our website at www.joystick.com.
Do you have tax issues, owe back taxes, or need tax relief? Contact L&B Tax Service today. L&B offers you over 15 years of expertise and first-class tax service for individuals, professionals, and business owners. With nationwide service, you can easily find a location near you. Contact one of our tax professionals through our website, lbtaxservice.com. That's www.lbtaxservice.com. L&B Tax Service Incorporated. Tax professionals that you can trust.
Do you have a business, product, service, or an event coming up? Is your current marketing getting you nowhere? Survival Radio Network is an award-winning network with over 1 million downloads. We're offering high-exposure 30-second spots on our network, reaching diverse demographics both locally and nationwide. Give us a call at 323-977-8172 or visit our website at www.survivalradionetwork.us today. SRN. We do radio.
The SRN.
This evening on the Paula G Show. All right, well, we just finished speaking with Stanley Autry, and he is an actorpreneur, and he dropped some knowledge on us about just pursuing all aspects of your being, your creative side, your, I like to call it, logical side. We've got these gifts, we've got these talents, and we cannot limit ourselves and put ourselves in a box because we have so much to offer. We have so many gifts, and we've got a lot of different passions. And my next guest, his initial ambition was to be a doctor. Can you imagine that? Initial ambition was to be a doctor, but he got the acting bug somewhere along the line in college. And he was inspired to pursue an acting career. And might I add, I think he can play a little bit of guitar. I think he can hit that guitar a little bit. Maybe he'll share with us a little bit this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Paula G Show phenomenal actor, Mr. Luke Georgeson.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, love. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm a little nervous, but I got a glass of wine, so I think I'll be okay.
Okay. Hey, whatever it takes.
Hey.
That's okay to calm your nerves a little bit, but that's okay.
This is my first interview like this as an actor, so it's a good nervous. It's exciting. It's exciting interview. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, let me say this before we get started, and I told Tiffany this. Luke, let me tell you, when I saw that film, darling, the acting was off the chain. Do you hear me? Off the chain.
Thank you.
Off
well, it's
the
good
chain.
writing to work with. It's good subject matter. Yeah. Yes, and I really, and of course we're going to talk a little bit about your role, but I really kind of want to get inside of, I have this saying, and it's
it's the greatest conversation you will ever have is the one that takes place in between your ears, because it determines your destiny. You know, it determines your perspective on things, your outlook, you know, all of these things. So I kind of want you to share with us in just a moment what that experience was like. But before we do that, tell us a little bit about Angus Young. What kind of influence did he have on you?
He had a huge influence on me. For those people who don't know, Angus Young is the lead guitarist for the rock band AC/DC. And not only listening to him play, but kind of watching him if you see him live or if you see him in videos, he's just got like a mesmerizing kind of energy that he plays guitar with. And that really resonated with me. I think I was like 14 when I started getting into them. And I just thought it looked so cool. I was like, that looks awesome. I want to learn how to do that.
Right.
And, you know, going through your kind of adolescent angst and all that, I just wanted to pick up a guitar and try to play guitar like Angus Young does and make those cool sounds and put that kind of energy into something in like in a neat way. I feel like there's worse ways to channel energy, and he did it in a really cool way. So that just spoke to me, and he's I don't know, I guess like a childhood hero, I guess. Yeah.
You know, I think, you know, we all, and you said it so well, you know, we all are inspired by someone or something, you know, during those formative years, and it, you know, it can inspire us in a certain direction. And, you know, I always say music is a beautiful thing, because it's to me, it's the medicine for so many different things. You know, it's the medicine for so many different things. So, So awesome. So I understand you're no longer in the Atlanta area. You decided to sprout your wings and explore.
Yeah. You've caught me at a pretty interesting time in my life. I'm moving to Los Angeles right now, and I'm in Dallas, Texas at the moment with my father, staying with him. And
hey, Dad.
Yeah, I think they're inside listening right now. But I've never lived outside of Georgia in my adult life, so this is a pretty big move.
Oh, wow. It's an experience to move outside, you know, and, you know, as you travel and you live other places, it's so, to me, it's so eye-opening. And, you know, I'm a former military spouse, and we've lived, of course, here in the U.S. and outside of the country. And I can remember the first time that I stepped outside of, and I'll call it my comfort zone, you know, of living in one place all of your life and then moving to someplace else. It just kind of opens your eyes up to, you know, a whole different perspective and a whole different world. So, you know, so it'll be exciting to talk to Luke in about a year from now after you've had a chance to experience it.
I have no idea what Luke in a year from now is going to look like, but hopefully it'll be a good experience.
Absolutely.
I'm hoping for the best.
Oh, hey. And that's all we can do, because I always say you speak it into existence. Whatever it is that you want, just speak it into existence, and you just spoke the best into your existence.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
It's like did you get that from The Alchemist?
Who, me?
Have you read that book? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good book.
Yes.
They say something along those lines in that book, but it's a good read. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, I've always believed that words have power. And I have this saying that I say all the time, you know, words are like, weave them out, but you can't take them back. You know, you can apologize all day long, but the words are out there.
That's a good quote for today's climate, I'd say.
Exactly.
Can't put it back in the box. Yeah.
Can't put it back in the box. They're out there. Can't put them back.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about. We started out. We had ambitions of being a doctor, and I know you probably caught this question before. We've had ambitions of being a doctor. So at what point did that shift occur, or was it a shift? Did you always have a?
It was a very slow shift, like turning a boat. It not an epiphany or like a one day I woke up and realized. I listened to a Steven Spielberg interview one time, or like speech that he gave, and he talked about how your dreams come to you in whispers, and that it's not always just like an in the moment epiphany that you just realize one day what you want to do, but your dreams come to you in whispers, and that, you know, it'll just kind of whisper to you now and then. You don't always catch it, but eventually you'll start listening to those whispers and be like, oh yeah, I have always kind of wanted to do this. And movies have been something that I've loved my entire life. When I was a kid, I used to watch movies, and I couldn't just watch the movie. I'd have to like dress up like the characters in the movie and play along, and it was like a whole theatrical thing when I watched movies.
Yeah.
And the doctor thing was, I kind of have a fascination with the way the body works and our minds, and I love the idea of helping people, of like giving to greater good and healing people's pain. And when I was in college, I had a pretty profound conversation with my academic advisor, because she was talking to me about all these classes I was going to have to take to be on track to go to med school, and she could tell my demeanor was not
wasn't
a
feeling
little glum. Yeah, and I was, you know, I just kind of was telling her, like, I just don't feel like I can go. I don't think I can make it through med school. Like, I don't know if I have a passion deep enough for this. And we got to talking a little more, and I kind of told her how, you know, I've always kind of thought about like doing something in movies or like acting or whatever. And she said, well, you know, what's stopping you from doing that? And I said, well, it just feels like it's not something I can really do, or like, I want to be a doctor so I can help people. I don't really know how I can help people as an actor. And she told me that, you know, sometimes when she's had a rough day or a long night or whatever, that watching a good TV show or a movie or seeing a play is kind of like a very cathartic experience, and can really touch someone or make them kind of elevate their mood. And then it kind of all clicked. It was like, oh my God, I can still learn about the mind and the body through acting and movement and all that, and I can still reach people more of a like an emotional way of helping people, opposed to a physical one. And so I took in my first acting class in college, and then just instantly fell in love with it, and haven't looked back. So it's been an interesting journey. It's not med school, but it's definitely tough. Different kind of journey.
Well, and speaking of journey, share with us Luke's journey, or Luke's transition, if that's the right word, into this character. And how did you prepare for your character? Tell us about your character, how you transitioned, and how you prepared.
Well, given the nature of the movie, it was a different role than something I've really done before, because it is kind of like a flipped narrative on culture or race, if you will. And so I was thinking about it from that perspective of like, you know, well, what if I was African American, or what if I was born into a different culture? And I realized pretty quickly that wasn't going to work, that you can't really like jump that stream or try and imagine yourself, force feed it into like a different culture that is centuries deep, you know, and that like I can't just it would be very silly of me to assume that I would understand what it's like to be a different race in a couple weeks or a couple days, whatever it is. That I knew that was the wrong way to go about it. So what I did instead was looked at this character is very frustrated with things that he feels like are out of his control, and is undeserving, unwarranted. And so I just kind of looked at, well, what frustrates me in my own life, or what things do I feel like are out of my control, that are kind of oppressing in my own life. And at the time that we were shooting the movie, I was actually very ill. I had a kind of rare stomach condition, And so I used that, honestly, to fuel and to charge a lot of the resentment and frustration that character feels. And so at times in the movie where there's a scene where I couldn't completely wrap my head around, what it would mean from a different cultural perspective, I just channeled it through my own pain. I felt like my own body was kind of oppressing me, so I just used my frustration and my own health to kind of feed the frustration of the character.
And you did a phenomenal job. You did a phenomenal because from the classroom and the comment of one of the young ladies, you can feel it. You can feel your frustration. You did an amazing job. Feel your frustration. Yes, throughout. Oh, I can tell.
It was a painful. If I can share with you real quick that.
Sure.
Being on that set and doing that I was in a lot of physical pain throughout that whole thing, and I really could have very easily quit, tapped out, or just said, you know what, I'm not healthy enough physically to do this role. And I wish everyone the best with the production, but I cannot carry. I could have easily done that, but the reason I decided not to is just I didn't want to let. I had already made the commitment, and I didn't want to let everyone down. I knew how far back it would push back production, and they would have to reschedule everything and get all the locations rescheduled. And so I just kind of powered through. Like when I was a kid, I saw Michael Jordan play in the playoffs, and he had a really bad stomach flu. And I remember that day, I was like 6 years old when that happened, and I was just so impacted by the fact that he still went out there and played. And he scored like 60 points and they won the game.
Right.
And just seeing another human being push through pain like that, I guess that kind of sat with me, and I kind of embodied that and knew that this wasn't something that I could just quit, that I could continue to do it and finish the drill, as they say. So yeah, it was a big growing, learning experience, just pushing through it and doing that.
Yeah. But that will carry you. That will carry you throughout life. That characteristic is one that will carry you, throughout life. And I always say that when things occur in life, they prepare us for our, the next stage of our life and of our being. What other projects do you have on the horizon?
Just moving to Los Angeles. I don't have much on the docket. That's kind of as much as I can handle right now. I just came. This show on Netflix just came out called Insatiable. You can catch me in that. I'm on that in one episode. But that is pretty much all that's on the horizon is just the big move at the moment. So, and I'm content with that.
Yeah, and that's okay, because we have these different seasons of our life that we go through, and sometimes I always say everything happens for a reason, and every season comes to us for a reason. How has this particular role? It's my last question for you. How has this particular role, if it has changed your perspective on some of our racial challenges in America? Has it changed your perspective any, or?
I don't know if it's. I feel like I approached the role from a pretty empathetic place or sympathetic place. I don't think I had a change of heart. I feel like my heart was kind of already in the right place regarding all those matters. What I will say that it did, or what it showed, is that like just that color or race, all that stuff, it doesn't matter. Like, we're all humans and we all feel the same way, and we all come from a place of caring about what's important to us is our family and our well-being, and the ones that we love, and that doesn't change between race or country or region.
Right.
And so I think that the movie, what I was really proud of when I saw the film is I think it really did two major things. And one was to get people to talk about these hard issues from a human place, from not a territorial or tribal place, but from a human place of what it would be if you were to wear someone's shoes that's gone through something tragic. How would you feel? And so I'm proud of that fact, and so I'm proud that it's opened the dialogue of conversation for those hard issues, and I'm proud of the fact that Jack and Law and Tiffany had the courage to do it and to make a film that would be controversial, and just that it shows, like I said, that we're all just kind of one giant family under the sun, and we gotta be more open-minded to that and try to take the boundaries and the categorization and the narrative out of it and just try to approach it as humanistically as we can, while not losing our minds, not losing our cool and making things too emotional or holding on too tightly to our in-group, and just kind of letting go of that and approaching it as a human being.
And also in the film, as I'm watching it and as I'm, taking that journey, also seeing while dealing with these racial issues, your character was also dealing with some family dynamics that a lot of families deal with, divorce and other things that are going on, in the home. So also, dealing with, those dynamics at the same time as well. And I think it really just added more of a personality, if you will, to the character. Not only, if you're dealing with this, we've got, these normal family issues that everybody can relate to, and everybody can do. Everybody can understand. Everybody can understand.
Everyone can relate to the pain that life tends to offer, unfortunately. But that is something that makes drama makes drama click in a lot of people's minds. It's just kind of it's something, the humanistic trait of suffering is something we can all relate to, and hopefully treat each other nicer because of it, and not add undue suffering to it.
And the also the character that played your mom, she, oh my gosh,
she's great.
Yes. she was the and especially that scene at the end.
She brings a lot of maternal passion.
Oh, she did.
No doubt. Yeah.
Yes, she definitely did. What kind of reactions did you get from your family? What kind of response did you get?
Well, the film's not totally public yet, so I haven't shared it with too many people.
Too many yet.
My mom. I haven't watched it with my family yet. I know that my mom saw it and she said she really enjoyed the movie and thought it was very thought-provoking, and some scenes were a little tougher than others for her.
Yes, I can imagine.
And but my family's very supportive of, and I'm very lucky for that fact that they're very supportive of me following my dream and just being a fan no matter kind of what project I do. So that concern or stress that maybe many actors have of constantly feeling like they have to impress their family or prove something to them. I'm lucky that I don't. That I know that I've got their support and they're behind me. Yeah.
And,
so that's
and
I'm very, very lucky.
Yeah, because it's a challenge sometimes. And I've had guests on a few weeks ago where he was pursuing. I believe it was a degree in law, and I could be wrong with that degree, but I think it was a degree in law. It might have been medicine. And he decided he wanted to pursue something in the arts. And, the reaction he got from the family was a bit strong, It was a little strong.
Sure, yeah.
But, he shared how he kind of had to, fight through that and persevere because, he had that passion. So it is good when you're surrounded by family that, supports your endeavors and the things that you want to do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, we all only get one go around on the ride, so might as well do something that you feel passionate about.
Yeah. What are some of the things that you feel that I won't necessarily say learned, although if you want to classify it that way, classify it, but you've kind of gained on this journey so far, in this acting. It could be anything. You don't have to put you don't have to put a title on it.
Yeah, I'm working on the book right now. Man, it is not for the faint of heart. A lot of people, ordinary people, when they see actors, they kind of only see the tip of the iceberg. They only see the people who are millionaires and who are mega famous and have been in a numerous amount of projects, but that's literally probably 1% to 5% of actors skilled enough and lucky enough to have that afforded to them. But most actors are it's a lifelong grind, and you got to do a lot of weird, odd jobs that you feel make you feel unstimulated, I guess is the right word. It's just kind of stuff that you can't, and it's tough as someone who pursues art because you feel like you want to give a lot of your emotional self to what you're doing, and a lot of times you got to take up jobs where it's just more of there's not a whole lot of heart in it. So you got to find that in yourself and keep your sights aimed high and remember why you're doing it in the first place, and not let status or lack of money or means kind of get you down. But it's a tough road to choose because you could spend your whole life without ever really having secure health insurance or savings or
and all those things are real.
All those things are real. I mean, that's the sacrifice you choose.
All those things are real. Luke, darling, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to cut you because we're gonna have to close. But thank you, darling. You did a wonderful job for someone who's nervous. I appreciate you.
You made it easy. Thank you so much. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Thank you so much. And listen, as you're moving on down the road, we'll keep tabs on you, keep track of you, and much success to you. And to be continued. Thank you, darling.
Right.
I appreciate you.
Thank you, Paula.
Ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome, love. You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. We went a little bit over today, but I thought it was important to give these gentlemen an opportunity to speak their truth and to share their journey. Thank you so much for joining us. Clark Garrison, appreciate you, darling. Remember, the greatest conversation you will ever have is the one that takes place in between your ears, because it determines your destiny, your direction. It determines your I am. What is your I am? I leave you now. Until next time, peace.